can take care of my baby all by myself. A nice visit. No, you stay right here, Harpo. When you free, me and the baby be waiting.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 times movie misogynists got what they deserved.
This isn't right. It's hormonal. You can't do this.
Watch me.
But this is my stuff.
It's the 90s, Bill. Downsize.
For this list, we'll be looking at sexist characters in films who received their just desserts. Plot details will be discussed, so this is your spoiler alert. What are your favourite comeuppances? Feel free to leave them in the comments below. Number 10, Biff Tannen, Back to the Future. When Marty McFly travels back in time, he meets his parents as teenagers, as well as the town tyrant Biff Tannen. Biff regularly makes creepy and unwanted advances on Marty's mother, Lorraine.
You know you want it. You know you want me to give it to you.
Shut your filthy mouth. I'm not that kind of girl.
Oh, well, maybe you are and you just don't know it yet.
Get your meat hooks off of me.
During the film's finale at the school dance, Biff makes his creepiest move yet, assaulting her in the parking lot.
Let him go, Biff. You're drunk.
Well, looky what we have here. No, stay right here with me.
Fortunately, Marty's father, George, decides to step in. Finding his courage, he lands one of the most satisfying movie punches of all time. It doesn't hurt that when Marty returns to the future, he finds that instead of being his dad's boss, Biff now waxes his car.
I want to make sure that we get 2 coats of wax this time, not just 1.
Just finishing up the second coat now.
Now, Biff, don't con me.
I'm sorry, Mr. McFly.
Number 9, Prince Humperdinck, The Princess Bride.
Promise to return him to his ship.
I swear it will be done. Once we're out of sight, take him back to Florin and throw him in the pit of despair.
After Buttercup's true love Wesley seemingly dies at sea, the wicked Prince Humperdinck tries to force her to marry him.
It's odd. But when I hired Vizzini to have her murdered on our engagement day, I thought that was clever. But it's going to be so much more moving when I strangle her on our wedding night.
When Wesley returns to rescue her, Humperdinck imprisons her in his castle and has Wesley killed. Or at least mostly killed. The power of true love proves too strong though, and Wesley survives and makes his way to the palace.
Give us the gate key.
I have no gate key. Basic. 30 arms off. Oh, you mean this gate key?
In his final confrontation with Wesley, Humperdinck is exposed as a coward and left alone, tied to a chair to live alone with his cowardice.
Why does Wesley need helping?
Because he has no strength.
I knew it. I knew you were bluffing. I knew he was bluffing.
It's a fitting fate after everything he's put Buttercup through. Number 8, Jafar, Aladdin. In this live-action retelling of the classic story, Jafar's sexism towards Princess Jasmine is as desperate and oppressive as ever.
She will never marry you. I will do as you wish. Make it stop.
The Grand Vizier is yet another villain who tries to marry the heroine against her will. Through all his machinations, however, Jasmine remains defiant. She sings about how she refuses to be left speechless and inspires the palace guards to resist their new ruler.
You can't keep me quiet. Won't tremble when you try it. All I know is I won't go speechless.
At their wedding, she defies him again, making off with the magic lamp.
I do not.
Stop her! Oh, Jasmine! No!
Ultimately, Jafar's own ego leads to his undoing, and he's reduced to being a prisoner himself.
A genie might have phenomenal cosmic powers, but an itty-bitty living space. You see, a genie without a master
goes back in there, lamb.
Sorry, Jafar, your plan was utterly foiled. Number 7, Bobby Riggs, Battle of the Sexes.
Man versus woman. Male chauvinist pig versus hairy-legged feminist. No offense. You're still a feminist, right?
No, I'm a tennis player who happens to be a woman.
Frustrated by Jack Kramer's tennis tournament, whose top prize for women is a mere 1/8 of that offered to men, Billie Jean King and other female players form their own tour.
Not only will we boycott, we'll set up our own tournament.
Fact.
At the exact same time as the Pacific Southwest.
Fact.
Be sure and send me tickets. You have a good night, ladies.
It ultimately leads to the formation of the Women's Tennis Association. Meanwhile, after being thrown out of his house for his gambling addiction, Bobby Riggs decides to challenge the top woman player to a match, bragging of his superiority.
Men are the superior animal. Tell you what I'm gonna do. I am gonna triple the bet. $100,000 to any woman who can beat Bobby Riggs. Question I ask myself is she out there? And if she is, does she have the nerve?
This man definitely deserves a comeuppance. Billie Jean eventually agrees to play him and ultimately defeats him, altering the face of tennis forever. The fact that this is based on a real-life story just makes the victory all the sweeter.
It began to become a cause célèbre. Equality for women. Equal rights. It was Billie Jean who fought for equal pay for women in the U.S. Open tennis tournament and got it.
Number 6, Bill, Morty and Aaron, the First Wives Club.
Hi, Brenda Morel.
Eddie!
Remember me?
You too. Oh, you look wonderful. You do too. You look just uncanny.
Reunited at the funeral of their former friend, Annie, Brenda and Elise discover that they're all struggling in their careers and relationships.
You're talented and successful, and Brenda, you're wonderfully verbal, and I am seeing a very talented therapist. Now, we're in our prime.
Their problems are largely linked to their husbands, who have left them for younger women. In an effort to get back at the men, they form the First Wives Club and start digging up dirt.
All right, First Wives Club, we'll come to order. Starting the club was easy. Figuring out what to do next was considerably harder. We each decided to gather information about our husbands.
Ultimately realizing that revenge isn't the right course, however, they end up blackmailing the men into financing a non-profit organization dedicated to supporting women in abusive situations.
By the time we had our husbands just where we wanted them, revenge somehow didn't seem so important. So, we came up with something better.
Number 5, Roger Ailes, Bombshell. This comeuppance is even more satisfying because it's based on a true story. In Bombshell, Megyn Kelly, Gretchen Carlson, and the fictional Kayla Pospisil take on Roger Ailes, the CEO of Fox News.
To watch the most powerful man in TV go after you with everything he's got.
I'm telling you, other women will come forward.
Ailes has been sexually harassing female employees for years. Carlson fires the first shot, and more women came forward, until at last the reluctant Kelly admits that she too was harassed.
I pushed him away twice. As I was leaving, he asked, "When's your contract up?"
When Carlson reveals that she recorded conversations that support her allegations, Rupert Murdoch is at last forced to fire Ailes.
I'd like to go to the newsroom with you. I'd like us to announce my leaving together. No.
Fox pays $20 million to settle the lawsuit and eventually shells out $50 million to the other victims.
A major bombshell this morning. Star anchor Megyn Kelly has informed lawyers that Fox News CEO Roger Ailes sexually harassed her.
For her to level these allegations is devastating against Ailes.
While Ailes leaves with a generous $65 million in severance, at least he was ousted in the end. Number 4, Albert Mr. Johnson, The Color Purple. Talk about out of the frying pan and into the fire. As a teenager, Celie Harris escapes her abusive father for her abusive husband, Albert Mr. Johnson.
Don't talk back to me. You do what I tell you.
Years later, a defeated Celie meets the strong-willed Shug Avery, Mister's mistress. The two women share their stories and a kiss, and Shug eventually helps Celie discover that her husband has been hiding her sister's letters.
I've been writing to you over the years, but Albert said you'd never hear from me again, and since I never heard from you all this time, I guess he was right.
With support from Shug, she finally finds the strength to stand up to her husband, inspiring her friends to do the same to theirs.
Could be not. Who's to say?
Celie, no! I can't promise you. Until you do right by me, everything you think about is gonna crumble.
Escaping at last, Celie inherits her father's property and is reunited with her sister and her children, while Mister watches alone and disgraced from a distance. Number 3, Bobby Sharp and the Men of the Mine, North Country. In this film, based on a true story, Josie Ames and the other women working at an iron mine face continual sexual harassment from their resentful male co-workers.
Oh, it's okay. I get it myself.
Come on, Earl.
All right, fun's over. Just trying to see if she's got a full pack.
When Josie tries to stand up for herself, her ex-boyfriend Bobby Sharp spreads lies about her supposed sexual promiscuity, saying that she had an affair with her high school teacher.
I wasn't in the powder room all day.
He was working the concentrator with me all afternoon.
See? You gonna call me and Earl liars now? Come on.
Josie sues the mine, and in an emotional courtroom scene, her lawyer gets Bobby to admit that the teacher in question actually assaulted Josie.
Yeah.
And you ran.
What was I supposed to do?
In the end, her co-workers stand in solidarity with her and form a class action lawsuit that forces the mine to compensate the women and change its sexual harassment policies for good.
Well, for starters, you stand up. You stand up and tell the truth. You stand up for your friends.
Number 2, Nils Björman, the girl with the dragon tattoo. While the sadist Nils Björman isn't the main villain of this film, his comeuppance takes our entry here.
I'm so glad you decided to come and visit.
I just want my money.
Well, let's see if we can help you out with that.
Early on in the film, Lisbeth Salander finds herself with a new state-appointed guardian who restricts her access to money, blackmails her, and violently attacks her. The indomitable hacker takes affairs into her own hands, returning to his apartment with video evidence of what he's done to her.
I feel a bit badly how we left it last time.
Me too.
She torments her abuser and forces him to ensure her independence before tattooing a message onto his chest to make sure that he'll always be recognized for what he really is.
Lie still. I've never done this before. And there will be blood.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Al Monroe and Ryan Cooper. Promising young woman. After her best friend Nina is assaulted by Al Monroe and takes her own life, Cassie Thomas becomes a kind of vigilante, confronting men who try to take advantage of women.
Whoa, what is this? Are you some kind of psycho or something?
Why'd you say that?
I just thought that you were...
Drunk?
Yeah.
Really drunk?
Her ultimate goal, though, is to take revenge on the man who attacked Nina and those who helped him get away with it, which turns out to include her own boyfriend Ryan.
I have this video ready to send to everyone in your address book. Your parents, your colleagues, all your old buddies and their wives.
Cassie, come on.
She goes to Al's bachelor party with the intention of punishing him, but he manages to kill her. Fortunately, that's not where the movie ends. In a delightful twist, Ryan receives a number of scheduled texts from Cassie, and the police arrive to arrest Al using a video of the attack that Cassie uncovered.
You're Alexander Monroe? You're under arrest for the murder of Cassandra Thomas.
No.
Officer, please remove the bride.
I'm sorry, this is a
You have the
mistake.
right to remain silent.
Thus, Cassie and Nina get their revenge from beyond the grave.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.